I thinks, therefore I am not yet. A self-aware mind is fundamentally different from a non-self-aware one. In the former, an observant agent is watching everything that is going on. In the latter, an observant agent is absent or has a very feeble presence. In a non-self-aware mind, everything is performed automatically, whereas in a self-aware mind, a silent sense of awareness is attentively observing everything, including automatic procedures. The presence of the observer in a self-aware and self-conscious mind is alive and substantial. This observer is aware that this self-observation is essentially different from thought and thinking, and appears to be beyond them. In an unconscious mind, there is only the flow of thought streams, one after another, without the mind having any conscious control over them or even paying attention to their essence or duration. As a quick test, can you keep thinking about a topic for 5 minutes without letting other thoughts invade your mind? Try it now. It is not that simple, is it? We cannot willingly bring thoughts to mind, nor can we cast them out whenever we wish. Thoughts come and go whenever they want, without considering our preferences or even asking for our permission. The stream of thinking keeps moving from one topic to another without our conscious attention. A thought is drawn to a topic by itself, then it focuses on another topic, and then concerns itself with yet another topic, again, all by itself. Even when a person believes that he or she has changed the course of thinking, it was the stream that has really been the actual director behind the shift. For people who are inattentive to thought processes, these issues may seem to be abstract philosophizing and playing with words. But for people who have continually observed their mental activities, these are familiar factual experiences. When the observer of mental activities is absent, one identifies himself, or herself, with a specific thought as soon as it appears in the mind. To get a better picture of this process, imagine that a few thoughts enter and exit your mind one after the other. When the first thought comes or is being activated, you feel that you are the agent of that thought. The second thought comes and again, you feel that you are the thinker of this second thought. In other words, you feel that you are the first thinker who is now thinking the second thought. But is this correct? Are we really the thinker of our thoughts? Or is this just another of the mind's illusions? First of all, I am not the one who evokes the first thought, nor do I evoke the second. Each thought comes and goes, based on mechanisms beyond my awareness and out of my control or will. Secondly, each thought has a complete process and does not need me to operate its specific process of coming and going. The thoughts exist, whether I exists or not. The I that is felt in every thought process and is felt to be the agent, the thinker, actually has no role in the process. The agency felt by the I is an illusion that is rooted in a false belief. If I am truly the one who does the thinking, why am I incapable of not thinking? Why am I not able to control and select the kind of thoughts I have? Why can't I even determine the moment and duration of a specific thought that appears in my mind? Why am I utterly powerless regarding the stream of thoughts in my mental space? What kind of an agent is that powerless and incapable? The truth is that the feeling of the agency of the I in regard to thinking has no logical basis and is merely an illusion. A new I is created with every thought and dies or is temporarily retired when that thought is gone. Each thought brings its own I with it. A particular I is created with and for any thought. There is no I in the mind who thinks the thought or shifts from one thought to another. The sense of continuity concerning the I in the mind is an illusion. There is no collective self that thinks consecutive thoughts. The I felt in one thought has nothing in common with the I in the next thought. These I's are strangers to each other and most of the time are in conflict and create internal contradictions. When the self-conscious observer is absent from the mind, thoughts take the role of I. Therefore, whenever the process of thinking is interrupted for any reason and by any means, the self-making process is stopped as well. I do not want to start a discussion here about how thinking can or cannot be stopped, since that is not the concern of this book. Instead, I would like to point out two issues that we did not acknowledge earlier, so as not to create unnecessary distractions. First, we did not discuss how thoughts move from one to another, that is, what the mechanism is behind the first thought changing into the second, and then shifting to the third, and so on. Second, we took it for granted that only one thought exists in the mind at any one time, when actually it is possible that there may be a multitude of thoughts in the mind at each moment, one of which is closer to the surface, and the rest of which are in the deeper and darker layers of the mind. In an average mind, in which attention and awareness are not developed, all thought processes, decision-making, and every activity performed through thinking take place in an automatic and unaware state. That is, the person lives and works in a mechanical way, meaning that the thoughts pop up and run by themselves. On the other hand, given our discussion so far, the body also is present and works by itself. Both thought and body exist by themselves, work automatically, and do not need an I for being and working. The I believes that it dominates both the body and the thought and is the same as them, which is not so. The body and thought do not need I for continuing to be and to work. The I has no control over anything. It comes and goes with every thought. The I considers itself to be the owner and absolute agent of everything. However, this is just a multi-layered illusion. Essentially, a human being with an unaware mind is not basically different from a robot. There are limbs that do certain things, thoughts that come and go, and the deluded mind thinks that it is I who is thinking, it is I who is seeing, it is I who is moving this leg, and it is I who is lifting that hand. It is blind to the fact that legs walk, hands move, eyes see, and thoughts come and go as they fancy. This truth also includes all kinds of feelings. For example, the joy of eating a delicious cake is created by the brain and delivered to the I, which does not have any agency or creative role in this process. It just consumes the data provided by the brain. As another example, consider sex and sexuality. What exactly happens during sex as a biological activity? How is the feeling of it formed? How is the feeling of pleasure created in a sexual experience? Is it the I who is creating its joy or pleasure? Or is it actually our brain that creates this feeling and offers it to us as pleasure?